Really proud of our team. Stepped up in a big-time game on a great stage with an unbelievable crowd, and guys stepped up and when their number was called. And we had a lot of different guys do great things, but I was just really proud of the approach, the intensity level to start the game, and then moving through the game, continuing to play through different lineups with foul trouble. But just in general, it was a tough-minded, it was a confident team tonight, and has a lot to do with our leadership, and also has a lot to do with the maturity of our young guys being physically sort of ready to play in college.
Okay. First question, Andy.
Coach, you started 3 guards tonight, even with Devontae being unavailable and whatnot. Talk about what those 3 guys did to shoulder that much of a load on both ends of the floor tonight.
It's really difficult to explain. You know, you're starting 2 freshmen and a sophomore, and you're bringing a 4th player in who's a freshman. And to say the least, I couldn't be prouder of them. Not that they're perfect, but you know, guys, they were ready to go, and that's an encouraging sign. If we can ever get a little bit healthy, we don't have to play them as many minutes. But hey, you know, I was a college player, man. If you let me play 36 minutes, I was good. You know, don't take me out. And but we have fatigue issues. You know, I think especially with those. You can see the concentration breaking down at about the 8-minute mark, and we got to be able to play through that. But really, really proud of them. I mean, Al Durham and Rob Phinisee, 13 assists and 1 turnover. That's a backcourt. That's a good night for them, man.
Especially early in the game, you guys were able to get Howard to turn the ball over a couple times on your ball screen coverages by bringing a couple guys that came off the ball screens. Just how important were those, and how good was just the execution on what you guys defensively?
They're very difficult to guard, and he is very difficult to guard. But I thought our guys really kind of figured out that if we're going to get better on defense, you know, part of it's the pressure, part of it's the ability to pressure the ball and keep the ball in front. And then we're a help-oriented team. You got to be able to help, you know. And if he's able to come off a ball screen and shoot it, you didn't do your job, you know, because he's the guy that can beat you. So we tried to rely on that, but it's tough when they put the Hausers out there as well who can really shoot and space it. Then you have to sort of, you know, define how you want to do that. And I thought our execution was pretty good. You're never going to be perfect on the run, but I thought for the most part we had some time to prepare, which was nice. But just in general, in watching our guys, I thought that they did a nice job for most of the evening.
Coach, it looked like Fitzner continues to be that piece you really didn't have last year, with being able to...
Yeah, he's a terrific offensive player. He's got to continue to work a little bit more on the defensive side of the ball, just in terms of his physicalness around the basket. He's got to get better at that, but without question, he fits our style. I knew it from day one, and he's a confident guy. You know, he's not questioning what's going on. He's playing with great confidence, so you know, you're able to come off the bench and get 16 and 17 minutes and really break the game open a couple times for us. It was good to see.
Zach, then Jeff.
I know there are still things that need to be corrected, but when you're going through some of the hiccups last season defensively, was it a performance like this that maybe you were kind of had in your mind, especially against a team like that can shoot the ball and space the floor the way they do, in terms of saying this is what we want to be defensively?
Yeah, I mean, without question. I mean, they have an identity. I think if you watch us play, you know, on film and you just kind of know what's going on, you say those guys, they give a great effort. And, you know, when you add in the mix that there are new guys in there, the older guys have really been able to hold down the rules and in the talk, in the communication. I think that's the vital part of growing as a program. Your returners getting better and understanding your culture, the intensity level that you need, and it's easier for a young guy to see what it looks like when it's done right. And but you know, all in all, we got a long way to go. We got some deficiencies and we got to keep working. But in this building, when you give that type of intensity levels, you give that type of effort, you're rewarded with a great environment to play into.
Jeff.
Robert Phinisee in his 3rd college game going against a guy like Marcus Howard. What did you think of Phinisee's defense?
He's a stud. I mean, he's a stud. There's not much to say. I mean, 26 minutes, 12 points, 8 assists, 1 turnover, and he guarded arguably maybe the player of the year in the Big East for most of the game and held his own. Not that he's perfect, but I tell you, I haven't been around a young guard in a long time that has that type of quiet calmness, that's tough, that's smart. Once he gets more experience under his belt, you know, obviously he has a very bright future, but he's a terrific teammate. I mean, he's everything that we knew when he recruited. But it was just hard to imagine the sturdiness and his ability to be that strong and tough, you know, early in his career. But you know, some guys are gifted, and in some ways he's gifted in the way that, you know, every young player would love to have. Unbelievable feet, balance, strength, conditioning, and he's smart.
Greg?
Archie, Romeo took it upon himself, looked like to get downhill and even in the half court, turn that into transition almost, it seemed like.
Yeah, he had some fantastic drives and finishes. I think you can see his explosiveness, the amount of ground he can cover. And when he is driving and he's jumping, you know, that's not a little guy jumping into you. I mean, he's going over the top of you, and his length is startling sometimes around the basket and what he does. But he's ready to play. Lights were on. Did a great job defensively for the most part. He rebounded, and you know, not a whole lot to say about him. I mean, he played really well.
Coach, you mentioned guys stepping into bigger roles tonight. Obviously, with the injuries to Howells, you guys stepped into the starting lineup. Just what do you think of his performance overall?
I thought it was probably one of the best games he's played. He was aggressive on offense. He made great decisions on the drives to pass. Obviously, he has to play a lot of minutes right now, so we were fortunate he was able to hang in there. Just getting him back in general was important for our team because I think he's experienced. He knows what's going on, and he played a really, really good game.
Coach, last year the defense came around. The perimeter defense was probably one of the last things to get there. Tonight you hold a very good shooting team to 5 of 23 from deep, 21%.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, you know, just in general, you know, we did a pretty good job of challenging. You didn't give them as many easy ones. Not that they didn't get easy ones, but they didn't get, you know, the ones that, you know, typically you can shoot in a horse game. I thought we made them earn some. They missed some, and that's part of going on the road a little bit. But, you know, part of being a really good defensive team in defending the three is getting back and not letting easy ones happen. Or in the half court, not being too spread out where you run around. We're a much more disciplined team, I think, here in year 2 than we were in year 1, and just in terms of our positioning and our help. And that's a key to defending the line. You're not always in rotation. So, you know, we'll give up 23s made on Sunday, I'm sure, but it's just how it works. But for the most part tonight, I thought, especially early, first 10 minutes, you were really dialed in defensively. There was a lot of really good plays that led to offense.
Alex.
A lot talked about the defense, but offensively, you guys started out really strong too. I think led 19-4 at one point. What I guess was working as a team?
Well, I think we were in transition quite a bit, and we were very unselfish. You know, I think we had numbers, we shared the ball, we got guys open, and then there were some seams. I do think when we're on the run, we're harder to deal with because, you know, we have guys that can put the ball on the floor. And, you know, early on in the game, just in general, you know, it was a fast-paced defense to offense. We had our moments where we were stagnant. We did not do a very good job of feeding the post tonight. That's something I thought Marquette did a really good job of, is not allowing us to get it in. When we did get it in, I thought good things happened. But, you know, just in general, offensively, if we're going to become a really good team, we have to be able to play from the paint out, not out and in.
The 63.6% is the highest in the first 2 years of Coach Miller's tenure tonight.
Wow.
Go ahead, Mike.
Coach, is there any update you can give us on the 4 guys who didn't play, especially Jerome, Hunter, and Race?
You know, I'm not sure. I don't have an update on Jerome. We'll probably have more of a clear picture tonight as I talk to the docs. And we'll have sort of, he's going to be out indefinitely right now until we can get an exact, like I said, an exact range on what he's dealing with. He has been being evaluated by doctors here the last few days. And, but the other 3 guys are out indefinitely. I don't see them playing here in the near future. I see maybe the month of November being a very risky month for us, just in general. We have to do our part. We just have to be ready, and we have to be as smart as we can with the guys that are available. But right now, you know, we're planning on moving through the rest of November, you know, practically maybe without all 4.
Zach?
You talked about ball movement earlier. I know it's a small sample size, but even including the Southern Indiana game, this just feels like a very patient team offensively. Where does that come from that these guys are maybe not just willing to share the ball, but go deep into a shot clock before they...
Well, it's a big emphasis for this team to not, yes, share the ball, but we know we have to get the ball moving and the players moving, and then we can take advantage of the different skill sets. And I think we're a team that can put the ball on the floor. But if you put the ball on the floor and you're running over people all the time, that's not good. But when you're delivering kick-out passes and one-mores and you're sharing it, you know, that's typically the good thing. We've really tried to emphasize with this team the pace that we want to play at and the movement and the passing. You know, we want to be a high assist team. We want to be a team that gets to the line, and we want to be a team that obviously touches the paint with the ball. We have a lot of different guys, and, you know, if we ever do get, you know, a significant number of guys back, then we'll become even deeper, and we'll be able to get even a little bit better defensively, because I think you have 2 experienced guards in Zach and Devontae that aren't in there right now who know what they're doing.
Okay, back here.
Archie, you guys had 5 players who cracked double digits tonight. How much easier does that make your job as a coach, knowing that you can get multiple contributions from players?
I think you got some guys in rhythm right now. I think you got some guys that know they're going to play a lot of minutes, especially our backcourt. So I think between Romeo, Rob, and Al, they know they're out there. That's a great feeling as a player. You play with confidence. You know, Fitzner's another guy that's a really good offensive player. And I think obviously Juwan and Justin, those guys are battling like crazy. And then even getting Duran back just a little bit here tonight, you got a chance to see him play more minutes, was a good thing for him. But, you know, Juwan, 13 and 9, the way he passed the ball, the way he defended, his foul trouble really eliminated a lot of what he was getting ready to continue to do in the game. But I thought he was very good as well.
Archie, what does it say about your team from a mental toughness standpoint that you can dominate a team like Marquette without being full strength?
Well, I mean, you never talk about your weaknesses. Every weakness, every negative, anything that ever can creep into your mind about this couldn't go well, you have to flip that on them every single chance you get. And when guys aren't available, that's more minutes for the guys that are there, and that's an unbelievable opportunity to get chemistry. It's an unbelievable opportunity to gain confidence. So I look at guys being out. You get sick to your stomach for the players. You get sick to your stomach for the staff because you know you want to practice and do all the right things. But at the end of the day, the one silver lining is you start to get rhythm, you start to get confidence, you get players in there. So it's a positive too. It's a positive for the guys that are available. Obviously it's frustrating, but it's something I thought tonight no one blinked.
Just kind of piggybacking off what you said about Rob and Al earlier, but the second week in November, did you ever feel in any world that you feel this good about your point guard situation, about your backcourt this early in the season?
I knew when we scrimmaged Loyola, Chicago, that we had a chance to have really good point guard play. You know, to be able to play against Loyola, Chicago in a scrimmage and see your guys go up against another college team for the first time, kind of took a step back and said, I could see something working here. And as we've moved through it, we've been really solid at that guard spot. And, you know, if you get Devontae back, you have another guy that can obviously play it. So I think, you know, we feel good about that when we're healthy.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thank you.